Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Don't forget, if you like the video, click on like and subscribe and talk about it on chat lines or wherever it is your social media activities, and help us to grow and help more people. I'll talk to you soon. Ash says something, here's a quote for everyone that I wrote on my wall that I need to remind myself of sometimes. And in quotation he writes, you want to win the argument. Your OCD just wants to argue. Very interesting. OCD just wants to argue. It doesn't have any position to win or lose, just wants to argue because that's what it gives it life. You see, as I mentioned once before, everything physical part of ours and non-physical part of us looks for security. But the physical part, the non-physical part, the brain doesn't find its securities in physicalities, find its security in occupation. That occupation is thoughts, thinking, creating thoughts. And how can it keep it going? To keep the thought going brings him security through that occupation, through that continuation of thought process and interacting with thought process. And through that, it finds security. So it just wants to argue. It doesn't care about the outcome. It doesn't have a position. So you, in fact, because you're different than the brain, you know your position and you're conditioned in this world to stand your ground, fight for position, argue for position, and win and convince the other side. You go through hell. And since the brain has no existence and cannot have a position, so therefore when it doesn't have a position, cannot be convinced of anything, any position, but you try to convince it and it can't be convinced because it doesn't have a position, doesn't understand what being convinced is, having a position is. So therefore you keep going at it because you don't see. It's like wrestling with someone that no matter how much you beat the crap out of it, it never taps because it doesn't feel pain. So it never knows the end of it is when you tap, you give up, you throw in the towel. So therefore, you keep getting yourself tired of beating the crap out of it in the ring, but it never taps because it doesn't know what is tap. I'm not getting hurt. I just like to be beaten, to be busy with exercise. It's a different make. It's not you. That's why you should stop trying to convince it to win an argument, because the other side doesn't care to win or not, just wants to argue. As Ash said here, that's what I get from his saying.